Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Halloween edition of Architect Showdown. 8 builders have submitted their spooky themed builds in honor of All Hallows Eve, and a change up this episode and moving forward. Our Architect Showdowns will utilize builder provided cinematic videos. This way, we can focus on the important details each builder wants us to showcase. Of course, if you see an amazing build that you would like to view more, you can actually find the link to each workshop item in the description below. Now, don't forget your vote matters as well. First place will take home a Planet Zoo DLC of their choice. If you would like to vote, please use the Google form in the pinned comment, or alternatively, you can also share the architect's name in the comments below. Now, if you're interested in joining in on our challenges and having a chance at some free DLC, please head over to our Discord community. Everyone's welcome. Now, each architect has provided a short backstory to help share the spooky nature of their build. So sit back and enjoy this new cinematic experience in Architect Showdown All Hallows Eve edition. Terra Cova Island is located in the Atlantic Ocean, a few dozen kilometers off the coast of Brazil. In 1956, a scientist by the name of Nicolaus Terracova, who had immigrated to Brazil from the USSR in 1947, devised a plan to create a self-sustaining ecosystem on a barren rock in the ocean. Nicolaus imported a pair of ibex to the island in 1957, as well as various plant and tree species that he promptly planted. He had hoped that the ibex would multiply enough to sustain a population, whilst dying naturally of dehydration once they became too big to reach the freshwater puddles high up on the mountains of the island. His plans, however, did not end up working, as the ibex rapidly multiplied, taking over the island and killing many of the plant species. In 1962, Nicolaus moved permanently to the island, constructing a crude stone tower. Along with him, Nicolaus brought a jaguar cub that he had recently purchased illegally. In a desperate attempt to keep them under control, Nicolaus began experimenting on the ibex in 1964. He tried injecting the ibex with slowly multiplying bacteria, allowing the ibex enough time on Earth to mature and breed once before succumbing to the disease caused by the bacteria. In 1965, Brazilian authorities discovered that Nicolaus had been living on the island and arrested him for his experiments in the illegal settling of the island. Nicolaus shot 3 of the Coast Guard officers trying to arrest him before infecting himself with the bacteria. The 4th Coast Guard disappeared. Later on, the 13th of May 1965, backup Coast Guard arrived, discovering that Nicolaus had vanished. Investigations are ongoing. Welcome to our beautiful zoo. Before we embark on this exciting journey, let us take a moment to acknowledge that we are well aware of our reputation. But safety is important to us in our own special way. Our incredible journey began in the distant past, the year 1896. It was during this year that the castle and its enchanting surrounding grounds found a new purpose under the stewardship of our esteemed founder, Dr. Moreau. He acquired this remarkable property from its previous owner, the enigmatic Count Alucard. The transformation that followed was nothing short of magical. Over the decades, we have strived tirelessly to provide you, our cherished guests, with the finest experiences in the world of zoos. We've encountered and overcome our fair share of challenges and minor incidences along the way, but our determination to keep our doors open to the public has always prevailed. It is a testament to our enduring dedication. Our operating hours are designed to accommodate your convenience. We warmly welcome you from 8 a.m. until 9:21 p.m. Please note that for the safety of all, we do not allow entry after the specified time. The twilight hours are best enjoyed outside the enchanting walls of our zoo. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here as our guests, and we invite you to bring your entire family along for an experience that they will cherish for the rest of their lives. The memories created here will be a treasure that you and your loved ones will never forget. So without further ado, come and explore the wonders of our extraordinary zoo. Deep in the forest, next to a crocodile-infested swamp, lies a rickety wooden house. It wasn't always this way. The trees remember. Once upon a time, the woods teemed with life and the waters sparkled in the sun's light. That was before the witch. Within her hut lie clues to her descent into the dark arts. Forbidden potion ingredients, a spellbook, a picture of a former lover. The cauldron bubbles and the fire roars as she works, accompanied only by her familiar. She toils night and day, the garden and swamp outside forgotten. Its tenants, a tortoise, porcupine, and 2 crocodiles are the lucky ones. Adventurers come to slay her and are now forever bound to the swamps. They do not dare to think what happened to the others. Still, a touch of her humanity remains. A weeping willow, candlelight, a scene set for 2. She is heartbroken. She is hurting. But most of all, she is lonely. And what can one do when they are craving the presence of one specific person? For now she works, she crafts, she brews. She waits for the black candle next to his portrait to burn. Then, and only then, she may be able to bring him back from the dead. The witch is dead, killed by her own spell. The tavern went silent after this revelation, just to erupt into an even louder jumble of different voices a moment later. The wolves were her best friends. Countless people are buried at the cemetery near her house, people she killed. She drained the youth of young women, that's how they died. Her enemies were turned into alligators. They're still out there, starving forever. I heard she had no electricity. Her magic powered the place. And the fog in the forest was only near her house, as if she would leave the place alone. Well, now that she's dead, there's no more magic, no reason to be afraid. The bartender shrugged and cleaned the table. That's a relief, a woman said. She looked old enough to have grandchildren herself. But in reality, she was one of the lucky ones. The ones that managed to escape seconds before her whole life force was sucked out by the witch. They all cheered, finally being free of the witch. It was only a moment that they celebrated before they noticed the change. The atmosphere of the room was different. Although they had a nice warm fire, the room suddenly felt cold. Their mouths were dry and their stomachs ached. A feeling creeped into their minds, the feeling of never being able to feel happy again. Hopeless. They were all hopeless. A cold wind blew out the candles on the tables and let the fire flicker. With the wind, a hateful voice echoed through the tavern and left everyone rattled. I am still here, and anyone who comes to my house will meet an early grave. The words resonated in the townfolk and sent shivers running through their spines. The witch was dead, but death would not be her end. On a chilling All Hallows Eve, 2 daring friends, Sarah and Marcus, decided to explore a cave known only as the Cave of Shadows. Ignoring foreboding signs and warnings, they hiked down a steep cliffside, their excitement drowning out any sense of dread. As they stepped into the cave, an eerie purple glow welcomed them. Strange, glowing fungus adorned the walls, and a weird smell of metal filled the air. Intrigued yet cautious, they ventured deeper. The purple light slowly morphed into a sinister red, and the metallic smell intensified. It was then that they realized the horrifying truth. The smell was that of blood. Before them flowed a river of blood coursing through the very heart of the cave. Suddenly, a deafening screech echoed through the cave. From the darkness emerged a swarm of vampire bats. their eyes glowing a demonic red. Marcus screamed, "Sarah, run!" as the bats descended upon him, their fangs sinking into his flesh. Sarah bolted, her heart pounding, Marcus's agonizing screams echoing in her ears. She navigated through a labyrinth of tunnels until she saw moonlight. But her relief was short-lived. Before her lay a broken bridge, and beyond it a steep fall into the abyss. She hesitated, torn between two nightmares. Then she heard it, the flapping of wings, growing louder and closer. She turned around to see the bats swarming out of the cave, a dark cloud of death. With a final scream, Sarah stepped back and plummeted into the abyss below. And so, the Cave of Shadows claimed 2 more souls, its legend growing darker with each passing All Hallows Eve. Director Grant Drifter has an image, a new age horror movie which features a reimagining of iconic horror movie scenes. Take a small glimpse at 3 of the sets created for the movie in Studio One, but beware of the guests who seem to have made themselves at home outside the studio. Dear visitors, dear parents, lovely children, we came up with something very special for you this year for Halloween and neatly decorated the area of the nocturnal animals of our zoo in the medieval village around the old church. This area is explicitly intended for slightly smaller, or shy, children. A little scary but not frightening at all. Well, at least that was the plan. However, our new work zone manager, Mr. Lou Cipher, probably went a little too far. However, he assured us that everything was still child-friendly and insisted that parents have to have some fun too, after all. However, this is to be understood. We have sent a supervisor to inspect the area, but have not heard back from him yet. We assume everything is in order and wish you all a wonderful evening here. By the way, Mr. Cipher hired a completely new team for the nocturnal area of our zoo called the Redcaps. They specialize in spooky events such as Halloween fairs, carnivals of curiosities, and themed children's birthdays. Apparently, Mr. Cipher also organized a scavenger hunt for the parents and asked us to release the tasks here. Palpatine's ghost is missing his lightsaber. Please find it and return it to the grave before he rises again. Curiosity kills not only cats, but sometimes raccoons as well. Poor Rocket couldn't resist trying something Nanny Ogg and Esme Weatherwax mixed up in their outdoor kitchen, and has turned to stone. Please bring him back to the other bog buccaneers. The hags, witches, weirds, old ladies assured me he'll return to flesh without a scratch by the next full moon. Samara Darling is nowhere to be found, and we don't know really where she went, though it seems she left in a hurry. Please find out who, or what, scared her out of her well. We miss her dearly. Jack has misplaced his axe again and doesn't remember where he left it. Please find it. Don't touch it. He's picky. Just tell us where it is. Our lovely old cemetery is home to some famous people. Name the films in which these unforgettable horror heroes once murdered innocent, wreaked havoc, once met their tragic fate. Find the weirwood tree and tell us the names of the animals living around it. Someone is not where he really is supposed to be. Who could that be? In which epic tale? Okay, I know it's a game, but whatever. The hero and his mentor rest under the hangman's tree. Now, who the heck put these damn billboards everywhere? I swear to heaven, if I have to read the name Winchester one more time, I'm just gonna take them down right away. Could someone please get me John on the phone ASAP? Yes, it's urgent. In a forest far from any village, two married witches live together with their cat. One enjoys potion making, her cauldron bubbling daily, while the other cultivates the magic of nature, her crowning achievement being that of a wonderful purple mushroom. However, over time, the nature witch's power continued to grow, and eventually her mushrooms began to grow wild. Together, they both left home in search of answers, leaving their lovely cat familiar home to stand watch, waiting for their eventual return together.